Howdy, all of you delicious people. I'm here to review Below Her Mouth. This is a film that is to go on and say, wow, a tub scene is way more effective than I thought it was to be within a film. Because yeah, this movie has just burnt that tub scene within my mind, living rent free. Yeah, uh, very surprising, that tub scene. Oddly enough, how effective it was. So for Below Her Mouth, I question whether or not, like, is Riles just a really poor lover, or is Jasmine to have always just gone on, just had this fascination with women, and she's seeing her being engaged as like, well, this is my last chance to go on and be like, figure this out. Is kind of my quandary of this movie. Like, I have to assume that Jasmine was to go on and mention about how she had a prior interest in being with a girl, but then that all got squashed, and eventually uh, was to have her parents kind of set her up with men. But yeah, but it always just kind of like questions of like, if Riles would have gone on and been a much more satisfying lover, would Jasmine not be going on and be looking at someone else, at anyone else? But anyways, so plus also you have to admit that Dallas is to be very pushy, that she will not let this go. But anyways, let's kind of pull back here. So we come to find in this film that Jasmine finds Riles going on a work leave. So Jasmine goes on, and the further and further she's away with Riles, as she wanted to kind of jump on him before he was to have left, and if anything, he felt violated by her painting his nails, which I'm like, I'm sorry, dude, like, let her have her fun. Like, there's a reason why The Rock will go on and uh let his kids just kind of paint and make up and whatever all over his body and face and whatever, because it's a thing that they want to do, so he allows them to do it because it's their fun. But if anything, Riles is to feel violated. Oh, how dare! Like, give Jasmine something to do. It's fun for her. So Jasmine goes on and just feels utterly unsatisfied by her lover. So eventually, Jasmine goes on and eventually starts looking at some roofers. It's like, like, they're catcalling me. Ooh, like, they're making me feel important. And eventually, Jasmine goes on and finds that a tub is to assist her with then getting her release, which is good. Like, hopefully, she goes on and she finds a way to get more uh, of that satisfaction. Like, hey, don't kind of just leave it building over time. Just go ahead and just do whatever you can. Like, go to town. Why not? So Jasmine goes on and eventually meets up with Dallas, what seems to at first be more of like a wham bam thank you ma'am kind of character, or is to be a character that is to go on and seemingly not find the right one, right? Because that is to be so easy. But anyways, Dallas goes on to eventually meet up with Jasmine and like, I'd like to ride her. But then eventually she starts talking to Jasmine, and Dallas mentions about how she has this roofing company that she is to uh, want to drink with Jasmine. So Jasmine goes on and goes to this party because Riles is kind of telling Jasmine, "Hey, yeah, go on and you're working too hard. Like, give yourself some fun." And so Jasmine goes on to this party and eventually meets up with Dallas. Dallas goes on to meet up with Jasmine in the bathroom, and she continues to talk to Jasmine and further is pushing Jasmine even when they even talk about her engagement ring, that's not enough to keep Dallas away. Further and further having Dallas kiss Jasmine, and then Jasmine being uh, being very much also intimate with Dallas, kissing her also. Jasmine talks to her friend in shock about what she had gone on to do, and I'm like, okay, so like Jasmine had never gone on to be with a woman before, but then all of a sudden we come to find out that that's not true. That at some point in the story, Jasmine does divulge that she has been with a woman before, but eventually that had kind of been changed by her parents, forcing her to be with setting up of men. So, here's where we go on, and then we come back as Dallas is to be asked to go to drinks, or Dallas asks Jasmine to go to drinks, and so they do. Jasmine gives in, and then when Dallas is now with Jasmine, she is going up the skirt. She's going on with fingers. She's going on to try and be intimate, pushing the envelope because, like, oh, well, we kissed before. Now, like, let's see how much Dallas can more push this because it just won't end. It just won't stop. So, and then completely Dallas has more and more Jasmine break, and then they go on and they end up starting to become more and more intimate, let's just say, being together in this bed. And like, we don't really have Riles who's like up calling for an update or not much of that, like reminding Jasmine that he really exists, because I guess he's just way too busy or he's way too tired, either a combination of things. So the further that this relationship is to have its sleepover, there is the contemplation more and more that this is going to end at some point. That Jasmine is going to go back to her lover. That Dallas is kind of contemplating the seconds of how much she needs to memorize how Jasmine looks naked because eventually she'll forget it. So eventually, both Jasmine and Dallas make their way back to Jasmine's place that she wants to ride there. So eventually, as both Dallas and Jasmine have talked, and Dallas has kind of let Jasmine in on some personal things about her, which is kind of nice because I'm like, man, Dallas is so much a barriered person, but it seems that finally Jasmine had figured a way to get in on Dallas to just get some personal stuff to find out more things about her. Because Jasmine, it's like, well, hey, I want to go on and I want to know things about you. Like, I want to know, uh, like why he basically cheated on my husband for you. Like why are you any important? Because she should be. Because eventually, we'll see what happens by the end of the film. So Dallas goes on and starts to talk about, hey, yeah, play with me in the rain before you go on. You go in your house. Eventually, the playing ends up being a little bit more of playing. So, uh, to a little trumpet there. So, eventually, the intimacy will just never stop. If anything, it'll get further and further into just this uncontrollable, like nothing else exists, just the two of them doing what they're doing. So, this is where they get caught. This is where the big reveal. Oh yeah, Riles finally knows. Riles finally has to come up with his dick somewhere. So Riles goes on and tells Jasmine that it's like, okay, you need to go on and you need to cut this off. You need to go to this person and say that it's over. And probably have Dallas come up with every excuse for you to go on and be with her instead of me because that's pretty dumb, right? Like, if anything, I'd go on and be like, okay, like, you know what, if you really aren't going to be interested in this girl, you're never going to see her again. But if you are interested in this girl, then goodbye. But either way, Ryle should have gone on and said goodbye anyways. Like, if day one, when Jasmine met Dallas, and Jasmine could have said, yeah, I'm kind of into girls. Like, maybe we can go on and maybe this could be a more open relationship, or this could be like, that would have been much different. But like, if you led a person on for so long, like Jasmine has with Riles, of like, well, yeah, I'm completely into you and only into you and just into dudes, then all of a sudden you come to find that then Jasmine is to have this betrayal, and Riles could have just been then and that there, be like, well, goodbye, and he could have left. But he tried to at least work within the relationship. Like, at least Riles is actually giving Jasmine a chance, and then trying to put his dick in her, and yeah, it doesn't work anymore. Like, basically, once you've gone Dallas, you won't go anywhere else. Sadly enough. So yeah, so that's how the movie all plays out, and that might be spoilers. I don't know. Like, this movie is fairly slow. Like, this movie probably doesn't have enough in it to really have a real pull away from it. And I mean pull away. But if anyways, hopefully you guys can get something out of it. Hopefully you guys can get certain scenes out of it. Uh, I can go on and I could definitively and really enjoy the tub scene. It's really gone on to open my eyes about something, and kind of make me go on about, yeah. But anyways, also, it could really very much have scenes in it. I'm like, oh yeah, like this is kind of like it is kind of at some points interesting what this movie does as far as its story. Um, it can go on and probably like, I wanna remember. I'm trying to think if this is the right movie. There's a movie called Eleanor Makes Love, and there's this photographer that goes on and has this model, and eventually the two of them end up together. And I believe that's the right movie. I'm not quite sure, but if anything, I really thought that the movie was really interesting, and it was kind of like a girl with girl kind of thing. Uh, I'm sure people probably go on and point out probably like blue is the warmest color. I've never seen that movie, but I'm sure people could probably point that out to me. Uh, I really do enjoy stuff that has been having um, the gay and lesbian community and stuff. Like, there probably just really isn't enough actual like gay guy with guy stuff. Like, I apologize if that's not the proper title of things or words of things, but yeah, like, I haven't quite seen a movie yet where it has that kind of thing, and I also go on and I can find the movie actually rather good. I don't know what it is. Maybe there's something out there where there is like an iconic movie or I'm missing somewhere. Uh, but yeah, but I've yet to see like a movie uh, that has a character or has a couple that's two guys. No offense to anybody. Um, like, I'm just trying to figure out if there's a movie that goes on and really does that. That really does, like, the main focus is on those two characters. I've yet to see a movie that, well, Talented Mr. Ripley, maybe there's something with that. I don't know. Trying to think. I don't think there's anything that could come to mind, um, or something that I'm not aware of. Who knows? Either way, I think it's about that time to say that it's about that time to just push into spoilers. So Let me know in the comments below about below her mouth, because I'm sure everybody will be rushing to throw comments down about this specific movie. Let me know in the comments below what is your favorite kind of raunchy skin flick. Just put down the title. That's all you need to do. You don't need to go in descriptions. Um, because I'm sure that might flag something somewhere. Just put in a title down below. Unless it's actually the title is to be uh of an actual like there was this one movie that I'll probably have to spell out because I probably can't say it on here. There's a movie called Porno. That's the title, and it's about these characters that go on and they find this kind of forbidden film in the theater, and eventually the forbidden film like starts to kill them. I think I'd gone on to do that review at some point before, and the review did really well. But I don't think I could redo. I could. I don't think I could redo that channel based on the title today. Like I can't do that on the channel. Like I think I've done enough damage on this channel anyways. Like I don't think that specific title is going to be the best thing for me to do right now. I can do some stuff where I can kind of be more clever and more trying to hide things, but that one kind of hard to do. But anyways, so because I'm sure I can go on and I can put it inside a review, but if anything, yeah, it won't help. I can't tag it with anything. It won't go anywhere. Like, if I do it with other movies, I'll have to do more effort. Just anyways. To just try to hide that, like, hey, I'm doing it, but yeah, it won't happen. It just won't. It would be pointless to try to do it because I'm just trying to avoid saying the title. If only it would have been called something other than that, that could have been passed by YouTube standards. But anyways, so with that said, other than that, I'm gonna go on and eventually do risky business, probably at some point soon. There's a temptation for me to go on and cover the Michael Keaton movie Night Shift. Uh, I don't know if I'm gonna do that one because I just don't know if I'll probably figure out how to do the thumbnail part of it. Uh, I don't think it'll be worth it. Uh, I don't know. I'll have to figure out if risky business does well, then it might be tempting for me to do night shift because I might be able to have a tag I can throw on to night shift. But yeah, if risky business doesn't do well, then night shift won't really won't do well either because I'm going to use night shift on the tags for risky business, and if that doesn't do well, then what's the point? Other than that, yeah, like there's been anime that I've kind of been wanting to do for a long time, and I think that there's a clever way that I can get people more interested in it now. But yeah, we'll have to just kind of see where like because I've already made the thumbnails, I've already done the backgrounds, I've already done so it's eventually going to be a thing. But I think I'm gonna go on and probably still do some Resident Evils. Like I'm still popping those out. I still have a number of things I've already prepped the thumbnails for. I'm still consistently prepping thumbnails and adjusting things every single day. I just did Inception hours ago. I did Titanic. So those reviews are gonna be having different thumbnails on them. You can check them out. I'm sure they're still gonna be anyways. No one's gonna care about those videos, but I'm gonna do them anyways because F it. Like might as well just kind of see what happens. Uh, Other than that, I think it's about that time to go into spoiler time. Spoiler time. It's about that time to get into spoil. It's my movie. Hopefully, no one is going to have anything negative to say about this movie, as far as in the comments. Probably it's always going to be the thing about how long these videos are, but if anything, I think it was interesting that that specific one. It's like yeah, that movie had some certain story and certain kind of thing about it that really just like, really do you had to really complain about that one? But anyway, what do I know? What do I know better? I don't know any better. I continue to put foots in my mouth, mouth, below her mouth. So, also disclaimer: this movie goes on. Besides its title, it still has me go on to respect a woman's brain. It also has me appreciate a woman's mouth because eventually she can uh, talk like the best of us. And also, uh, BJs are great. Yeah, they are great. Well, uh, uh are they? Yeah, yeah. Anyways, uh, yeah. I'm trying to second guess here. But anyways, so uh, but yeah, but like, so this that's like the one negative thing that I could say about this title is like also it could be like besides like an attractive thing I can go on and find about a woman besides her brain, is probably her eyes or maybe just like there's always just kind of something about like feet her facial features or maybe just like her hair or yeah like but yeah also it's just like god dang like nice butt or nice hoo-haws or nice this or nice that like there always is also that but yeah but ultimately like for me I think if probably people were probably to ask because I think a lot of people probably are just like oh well you like girls right and that's it. I really don't think at this point. Like I've been single for so long, I really just don't give a crap. I don't really care about labels anymore. Um, like yeah, I could definitively be like transgender. Hey, that sounds interesting. Um, but yeah, but it's like, but I don't really care about labels anymore because just like who cares? Like if I was consistently on the market of whatever bullshit thing that is, uh, like if I was really out there and I was really actually trying, um, even though like it feels like you're gonna get scammed more than you actually are gonna find somebody at this point. Yeah, it just kind of feels like I really would just not care about labels anymore. I don't know. I just really don't care at this point. Is like once you've been single for way too long, like it's just like nothing really matters with that anymore. Like your basically private parts basically no longer work anymore. Well, they work, they still work, but it's just like it's not as a like you've just gotten so used to a certain kind of way of doing things that if it's ever anything different, like if it's ever any actual like if it's actual like sex, um, then it's to go on and be very much like yeah, this is really different. Um, and it kind of takes some used to, and then eventually when you go on and you don't have anymore, like it is really go on and be like you really are just like wait a minute like your whole body is just like we're not doing that anymore. Like that's the one kind of hard takeaway um because you've just been so used to like especially if you've done it for like a couple days and a certain number of days in a row quite a bit of days in a row um but yeah but like once you've stopped, it's so like you're at a point of time where it's just such a strange transition. But anyways, no one cares about this part of the video. Get to the review part. No one cares about this. So, anyways, uh, but let me know in the comments below your actual personal thoughts. I'm sure you want to go into a deep conversation with this, because I'm sure you go on and just be like, "Yeah, I want to really go in deep about all this." Because, yeah, I'm sure this is the part that everybody's gonna be clinging on to for dear life. Anyways, so spoiler time. It's about that time. I'm gonna spam to spoil this movie. Let me know in the comments below. Whatever. Type in gibberish. It helps out the channel. It helps out the video. It helps out me knowing people exist out there. Thank you all for going on and having the prison school review do so well. Because I really very much appreciate it. Maybe it's like an early birthday present for me, even though I had technically gotten an early birthday present anyways. Um, so yeah, my birthday is coming up soon, very soon. Um, but yeah, but like the sad thing of it is, on my actual birthday, not really going anywhere, not doing anything. Like normally, traditionally, I would go on and I would go to a movie around that time, but there's no real movie out exactly on my birthday, or even if it is, there's no movie that really is interesting. So, yeah, I'm kind of effed there. Um, and that's normally what I traditionally do. So there's not really much left for me to actually do on my actual birthday. So it's just kind of like, well, like I guess I'll just do nothing. Great. So, but at least I have one. At least there's always that tradition. At least I can get something out of that kind of day and just have fun somehow. Uh, around this time period of year. Anyways, let's go on. Like also, I'm kind of pulling an all dayer because I'm trying to adjust my sleep schedule to try and get back to like a kind of certain normal day of time. Because every once in a while there might be something kind of actually going on during the day. So I'm just trying to adjust to try to get back to a normal day schedule. Um, yeah. So hopefully go for the best for that. I hope for the best for that. If I haven't said already, new releases, coming soon videos. I hope to eventually accomplish at some point. Uh, Risky Business will probably be one. The Resident Evil movies will definitely be ones. Teen Wolf will go on and be ones that'll go on, and I will at some point go back into. And it may be good. It seems that people voted enough on it, justifying that choice. I hope to cover that soon. I hope to figure out how to do videos well enough to where people have real true interest in them. I was tempted to maybe cover Mortal Kombat 2. There's a temptation there. Like I feasibly can understand that no one cares about new releases anymore. I verily have found new releases that I can really find real true interest of that could garner me justifying coming to you and talking and reviewing them, because they're all just a lot of lot of lot of boatloads of nothing. Maybe like this review is to a lot of people, but anyways, let's get into a pausing here. I will get out where I can start this movie off and run off what all goes on with it. I hope I can go on and figure out all the names of which all these characters are to have, because yeah, there was a point where I was going and kind of ponder who all these people are. But it does come up at some point in the movie, so hopefully I'll kind of have retained that from actual watching of it. But anyways, pause this here. Let's get into that. Okay, so the beginning of this film has Dallas with Jocelyn. The two of them are in a bed together, and you can tell by Dallas's face that it's kind of like she's going through the motions. Like it just kind of feels like she's not really getting anything out of this interaction with this girl. And as Dallas kind of throws herself off, Jocelyn is like, "Well, hey, what's wrong? Tell me what's wrong." So eventually, the further it's like they start arguing, Dallas tells her to not to get hyper. So Dallas starts chiming in with like, "Well, you're over me. Like, this is over. Like, Rosalind is to kind of be upset because she's kind of confused, and so Jocelyn is trying to get Dallas to kind of like, well, hey, say something, and then Dallas says something. And it's like, well, yeah, that's not helping. Grow up, and like that's just kind of more and more like the interactions between both Jocelyn and Dallas are just like I don't really care about you more anymore. I'm done. So and also it's kind of it's stupid like how all these girls care about is like killing their buzz, and like Jocelyn is kind of dealing with the breakup, but she's the only one really dealing with it. Anyways, so Jocelyn has to go to work, and so Jocelyn gets into work, and then all of a sudden we start to hear the cat calls because Jasmine is getting in her car and making her way to work. Uh, One of the roofers, like I think there's a Wally and there's a Matt there, I think, or Willie or something, Willie or Wally, something like that. Um, they're going on and like, well, uh, hey, why do ladies love roofers? And it's a start of a joke, which eventually never gets finished. So one of the roofers goes on and states to Jasmine, it's like, well, hey, leave me the keys to give that car a ride. And Dallas is like, well, yeah, I'd love to give her a ride. So now we have Jasmine that while Riles is sleeping, she paints his nails. And then eventually Jasmine gets on top of Riles. So Riles goes on to figure out that he had gotten his nails painted and he feels violated. And so Jasmine it seems is wanting to be intimate with Riles before he leaves, and that's not going to happen. So now we cut to Dallas. Uh, Dallas is going on and talking to a girl named uh, Quinn, I believe. Not quite sure with all these names. So Quinn comes in, and the two of them like they start talking. Uh, Dallas talks about how she had broken up with this girl. Quinn was like, well, yeah, that girl wasn't really right for you. If anything, you need to find the one. So Dallas starts talking about how she's really buzzed, and eventually Quinn's like, oh, okay, well, I'll go on and I'll catch up. And Dallas is like, well, no one can catch up with me. What is she, the gingerbread man? So you guys probably won't get that reference, but it's okay. So Riles goes on and oh, I guess he hasn't left for work yet, but I guess he is leaving. So at some point he will leave at some point in this movie. So Riles goes on and talks to Jasmine and talks about how Claire is coming over, and Ross is like, okay, cool, I'll call you in the morning. Because he's making his way to Arizona. So, Riles will call her from the hotel, and Jasmine will be probably shooting in the morning also. So, if anything, Jasmine doesn't want to go on and really go to the party or go where Claire is taking her because eventually they'll probably get drunk. So now I'm back with Dallas and Quinn. Dallas ends up getting a phone call from Jasmine wanting like, hey, uh, pick up your stuff. Yeah, we are going to have Dallas is like, well, hey, I don't want to pick up any of my stuff. Like, if anything, just get rid of it. Just donate it. Because Dallas is to be a person that it's like, I guess she takes the things you own end up owning you for with heart. So eventually, Dallas realizes that her stuff is not something that she really needs. So she can go on and just have Jocelyn just keep it because she'll never come back for it. So Dallas, if anything, is just kind of getting more and more upset the more and more that she's talking with Jocelyn, and so eventually they stop talking. So now both Dallas and Quinn they make their way into this club, going to club. I always like to say that. So as they make their way to the bartender, they're kind of bickering about who is to have Desiree. Because it seems that Quinn is to have been really interested and has been working on getting Desiree for quite a bit of time now. And Dallas is Dallas. Dallas will go on and push and try to get anybody because she just doesn't want to have her bed ever empty. So now we make our way to find both Claire and both Jasmine walking by this club also. And Claire goes on and notices that it's an all girls party. And Jasmine's like, I don't know about that. So Jasmine and Claire make their way to the club. And so we come to find that Claire is making her way to the bar. It seems that she's getting ignored. Quinn is to go on and help Claire out, and eventually both Claire and Quinn end up with one another. They end up kind of making out, or they end up dancing with one another. So Jasmine goes on and makes her way to the bathroom. Here's where she stumbles upon Dallas, who would also go to the bathroom. So the two of them meet, and so Dallas goes on to mention about how Jasmine looks familiar. She had seen her on the street today. Uh, she was a part of the roofing company. Dallas goes on and is to ask her, it's like, well, hey, do you come to much of these parties? And to really ask her, like, well, hey, do you come to these parties where you go on, like, do you really like girls? Like, because you're probably coming to one of these kind of parties. Anyways, so Jasmine says that she doesn't come at all, and Dallas goes on and says, well, I can change that. Meaning, it's like, yeah, like, evidently Jasmine is not getting satisfied. So yeah, so meaning a different kind of come at all. So, because of course, stupid joke. Anyways, so eventually, as the more and more that they talk together, Dallas tells Jasmine that she's Swedish and that she grew up there, And it's like, "Oh, you're Swedish," and Dallas is like, "Oh, why do I sound different? And do I talk funny?" And it's like, "Oh, I'm just curious. Uh, so why would a woman love roofing?" And it was a thing that her dad kind of got her into. Uh, so Jasmine goes on to leave, mentioning that she wants some air, and Dallas follows her. So Dallas and Jasmine make her way out to this fire escape, and Dallas mentions about how her ring is this weapon. No, Jasmine is the weapon. You guys ever heard that 3 Days Grace song um, about the weapon? I am the weapon. I am the weapon. It's a great song. I liked it. So here's where Jasmine mentions to Dallas, "Hey, I'm engaged," and so Dallas is like, "My condolences." Yeah, because yeah, she's gonna get rid of that ring and get rid of that married guy or engaged guy fairly soon with her skills. So as Jasmine makes her way back into the club, uh, Dallas goes on and repeats the joke of like, "Well, hey, you know why women like roofers?" And Jasmine's like, "Well, yeah, I don't know." And so because they strip them and nail them all day, that's the joke. So Dallas says, "Hey, tomorrow I can go on and give you a demonstration myself." Uh, but if anything, Jasmine is playing hard to get. She's consistently saying, "I'll pass." No, like, uh, and Dallas is like, "Well, hey, how about I buy you a drink?" Another pass. So here's where Dallas and Jasmine come to find that the friends that they had went with end up together. And so Jasmine and Dallas make their way back to the fire escape. So Dallas starts talking to Jasmine about like her home and about her fiance, his financials, and how even Dallas herself had at one point almost gotten a ring and Googled it and everything. So if anything, here's where Dallas starts pushing. Eventually, Dallas kisses Jasmine, and in return, Jasmine kisses Dallas. After that, we have Dallas is talking to Claire and confesses about how she had gone on to kiss Dallas. So Dallas is going on to talk to the bartender and asking what time she's done because eventually she wants her in her bed. We now cut to Jasmine, who has now made it to hers, and she's talking to Riles. Seems that he's kind of not coherent and kind of tired, so he's going to go on and have this kind of brief conversation with Jasmine and then eventually call it quits with the conversation. So now we cut to Della. She's waking up, she's getting her teeth brushed, and eventually realizing that she has to make her way to work. Uh, Dallas goes on and gets up Desiree, who of course is in her bed. Uh, Dallas goes on and gets her clothes on and is basically telling Desiree, "Hey, yeah, here's a cab. Like, I don't have enough time to go on and do anything else for you, so I'm gonna leave." Desiree even asks, like, "Hey, well, can you drop me off?" And Dallas is like, "No, Here's some cab fare. So Dallas gets in her car, drives off. You'd think with Dallas being her own boss that she can make her own hours, but I guess not for Dallas. So Dallas goes on and gets to her site, throws some sheetrock or whatever things onto her back, and starts making her way up the ladder to get to her job. Jasmine, now in a robe, looking out outside, uh, is to seemingly, uh, because of last night's events, seemingly need to go on and give herself a little bit of release. So Jasmine goes on and makes her way to the tub and starts to put her fingers through the water, and then realizes, maybe I can be putting something else through the water. So Jasmine goes on and has the water run in between her legs, further and further as Dallas is going on and pouring over water of herself and hammering down on these tiles. We have Jasmine, who is pouring down water on herself in between her legs. Eventually, the moaning and the sounds get louder and louder because eventually she's going to climax. So, uh, Jasmine goes and has a bath that is to seemingly have a good amount of water in it now. So she goes on and kind of dunks herself into the water. Jasmine goes on and gets prepared to get ready for work, and she is to be now outside, going on and getting all of her clothes, or to have had all her clothes on and ready to go to work. She's going to her car, ready to start her day. So here's where Dallas goes on and starts talking to Jasmine again, and they're like, "Hey, didn't say goodbye." It's like, "Hey, this and that." So Jasmine is mentioning that she's late for work. Dallas says like, "Well, hey, like, what do you do for work?" "Oh, I'm a fashion magazine uh, editor." "Oh, okay." So Dallas starts to like, "Oh, you must be your own boss then. So am I. I'm my own boss. Like, I have this roofing company." So eventually, this whole conversation is eventually to have Dallas ask Jasmine for drinks, and eventually Jasmine does give in to that. Because if anything, uh, Dallas ends up asking Jasmine, it's like, "Well, hey, like, I'm going to be roofing all day. If you show up late tonight, then maybe we can go and have drinks later on." So eventually, Dallas will go on and ask Jasmine, "Hey, how about those drinks?" And eventually, Jasmine gives in to drinking one of them. So, but if anything, cut to Jasmine's work. Jasmine goes on and is to find what looks like a fur coat and gives it to Claire to give to this model. This model goes on and refuses wearing anything fur. Jasmine comes up with the excuse that this is to not actually be a fur thing; it's to be like an off fur. She calls it some like fox or something. I can't quite get the pronunciation in my head because, like, I tried to go on and rewind it a couple of times, but I can't quite figure out the pronunciation of it. If anything, I could probably FAUX. That's be the actual word. So the model buys it. So Claire and Jasmine are talking about like, well, is that true? And Jasmine is like, no, but if anything, it worked on her. So if anything, yeah, like let's kind of keep it quiet so that way we can get done early. So now Jasmine did get done early. Jasmine makes her way back to eventually meet up with Dallas. So eventually they go on and hey, how about that drink? And Jasmine's like, okay, one. So both Jasmine and Dallas get ready for their night, and the two of them are kind of dressed to the nines. So yeah, so like this is not just like if Jasmine did not care about this them going out, she would have dressed like a slob. But no, like Jasmine is going on and like dressing to the nines to meet up with Dallas, so that's kind of strange. Also, we later on have Jasmine when she's confronted by Riles about the whole breaking it off thing. Jasmine is like, "Well, hey, uh, can I take a bath? Like I look like a schlub." And Riles is like, "Oh, you want to look good for her?" Like, yeah, that's like a whole thing. So, so they get in the car, they make their way to this bar, and here is where the pushing up the dress starts to happen. Like this is to go on and kind of remind me of like the Mark Wahlberg Fear movie, where both Mark Wahlberg and Reese Witherspoon are in the roller coaster, and Mark Wahlberg is consistently just kind of thrusting his fingers up of Reese Witherspoon's skirt, and she's like, "Oh, she's enjoying it, she's loving it." But anyways, so as further and further they start talking, and Dallas's fingers start to make it further into Jasmine, the more that Jasmine is to say how sweet Dallas is and how she likes her edge and she likes this and that. So eventually the two of them kiss, and Jasmine mentions for the like, "Hey, garçon, tip sir." So the two of them leave as they further and further kiss. So they end up in this alley. They're kissing there. There ends up being this guy getting the trash, so kind of breaks things up. They make their way over to this truck and they unlatch the kind of the lip part, and they're basically doing it right then and there. Like we have Dallas is kind of going on and kind of fingering through the panties. So having finally Jasmine saying like, "Hey, we need to go somewhere." So inevitably, the two of them go to Dallas's place, and eventually, the finger hockey starts to stop here, but more of the throwing down of clothes, and eventually either the going down on Jasmine, or eventually we'd come to find that Dallas is to have had a strap that she goes on to insert within Jasmine, and further along we go here. So the two of them end up to bed together, and then the following day happens. So Riles ends up calling Jasmine while she's at Dallas's place. Jasmine seems to be a little bit more cold to Riles, if she ever really was to be any more different than she was before. So weirdly, Jasmine is going on and talk about how exactly she wants to get married to Riles. And Riles is like, "Well, yeah, I can go and I can make those adjustments. Or if you want to go and you want to do it yourself." But I believe Riles goes on and makes the adjustments for it to all just be a thing that he doesn't really need to do anyways. So But Jasmine is going to consistently talk about how she's to be working or that she's to be busy just to end the phone call. So, and here's where Riles goes on and tells Jasmine, yeah, you're working too hard. You should probably go on and do something for yourself. So, so they hang up the phone call. And Dallas kisses Jasmine. Uh, so Dallas goes on and gives Jasmine a photo of her young self, going on and eventually uh, showing her doing a snowman or starting a snowman, and Dallas had gotten a hernia from doing that. So eventually they start talking about how Dallas was a tomboy, and they start to go into that about the whole label of things. So the two of them are on this ferry, and here's where Dallas starts talking about her past. I believe starts talking about her mother and how her mother wasn't accepting her of being a roofer. Uh, but if anything, eventually Dallas would go on and eventually learn how to do it. Uh, so the more and more that Dallas talks, it's hard to come up with any real positive memories about her past. But Jasmine wants to go on and know anything positive of a memory that Dallas really has. They both leave the ferry, and so they make their way onto the beach. And Jasmine goes on and talks to Dallas about her coming out, and eventually how uh, Dallas is to go on and say it's like, well, what time? Like, to who? To what? Like, what kind of level of importance should this really be? So, because Dallas has mentioned how she had gone on and came out to some random person the other day because she had to go on and explain that. So, okay, so Jasmine at some point also goes on and talks at some point within the story about how, yeah, she had gone on to date a woman once, and eventually she had been caught that she was like dating with this woman, and eventually that like stopped that from her happening, and then eventually uh, her parents, or I think her mother, had kind of pushed her to go on and uh, be with guys ever since. Excuse me, I apologize for yawning. It's very late in the day for me. Plus, also, I'm trying to do this whole like stay up all day thing, and yeah, I'm getting really very tired. I apologize. I probably should be going to bed here, but I'm trying to stay up just so I can get some kind of regular time in my day. So my apologies. So if I've already explained this, I apologize. Whatever. Yeah, probably have. So, but yeah, also Dallas was talking about her very first time and how she didn't really know what she was doing while she was having sex. And Jasmine is like, well, that definitely has changed. Yeah, probably a little bit more experience, probably, right? So, so as they make their way to this like Ferris wheel, I always get the Ferris wheel and the one with the kind of the chairs and the horses and the whatever. So I always get those confused. Ferris wheel or merry-go-round or whatever. Uh, anyways, so the two of them kiss within the little bit of Ferris wheel there, And then the next thing we see is the two of them in bed. Dallas goes on and looks at Jasmine and then starts to finger her to wake her up, finger her to uh, to surprise her, and then the two of them get hot and heavy. Uh, as Dallas goes down on Jasmine, eventually they flip things, and Jasmine is on top of Dallas, uh, right by the mouth. So eventually, Jasmine slides down, and there ends up being more of like a what's the perfect word to say here? Uh, lips to lips. I'm talking about the. There seems to be more of like a sitting, almost a scissoring, somewhat of a. Anyway, so uh, after that is to all be kind of done, and there needs to be kind of a moment because the two of them have gone on to eventually climaxing. Uh, there's a moment where eventually Dallas is going like, okay, like they start seeing all this random shit that makes no sense. Like, hey, do you want to build a fortress? Um, Jasmine mentions I'll visit you. Uh, Dallas starts mentioning how she wants to memorize everything about Jasmine because she knows that like time's running out here between the two of them. Uh, the Jasmine starts talking about how much of a breath that they can take in a minute, and so yeah, like a lot of stuff that doesn't quite land on me. Uh, so Jasmine goes on and asks uh, Dallas if she can drive her home. So the two of them make their way to this house. So Jasmine mentions how she loves the house. She mentions about how she loves a certain tree. Dallas makes a joke about, oh, how would I chainsaw that tree? And Jasmine's like, no, how about you don't do that? So all of a sudden, Dallas eventually gets to a point where she's talking about slapping, and it's like, hey, hit me. And Jasmine's like, what are you talking about? It's like, what is this, Fight Club? Hit me as hard as you can. Pow! So Dallas goes on and slaps Jasmine, and so Jasmine slaps Dallas. So eventually, all this comes to head when Dallas gets out, and she's telling Jasmine, hey, come out here and play with me because they'll play in the rain. Dallas had gone to mention earlier at some point with kind of letting Jasmine know about the past that she liked to play in the rain and these other things. So it kind of re-comes up back here. So as the two of them make their way outside and they're being again intimate, we all of a sudden have Riles calling. He's mentioning about how like, oh, Jasmine, you must be sleeping already. Well, like, I'm gonna go on. I'm gonna tell you now that I'm kind of getting home early. So if anything, I'll be home soon. So as the further they go on and they become intimate with and outside, they eventually make their way in. You can see them kind of being intimate through this stairwell or through these steps, and as they go on and they make their way to this bedroom, Jasmine doesn't like that they're being intimate in the bed of which that Jasmine and Riles was still going on and Ben. So Jasmine uh, tells Dallas, "Hey, let's not do this here because it just doesn't seem right." So they then go to the bathroom of all places. Man, this bathroom, I gotta tell you, like, I'm being haunted by this bathroom. So the two of them make their way into the bathroom, and Dallas whips out her strap. So it's like, man, she had this plan. She had this plan that they were going to do this here. Like, why would she go on and just have this? Like, does she always have it? Like, that's so strange to me. Like, yeah, Dallas had to have had this prepared that they were going to do this. Like, Dallas was pushing that they were going to do this. So they're sharing the tub together, and Dallas mentions how she wants to see uh Jasmine again, and Jasmine says, I can't. She's engaged. The two of them kiss, and eventually they have uh, Jasmine bend over. Dallas comes from behind, and an intimate scene continues to happen. And all of a sudden, we then get to see none other than the Riles coming in. Huh? So, Jasmine and Dallas pull away. Dallas is just stuck in the tub, just going like, "Whew, she's just like, like, uh, I'm like, I didn't think this was gonna happen." What do you think was gonna happen? Eventually, like, the more and more they just continue to just keep going on with this, like within this house, like Dallas wanted to get caught, like obviously they wanted to get caught, so Jasmine starts pulling her clothes on, runs after Riles because Riles is now just walking outside. Riles doesn't know what to do. So Jasmine grabs Riles and he starts F bombing her. He goes on like what did I ever do to you? And she starts touching him. It's like, don't touch me. So Dallas makes her way back to her place, and Riles is going on to talk to Jasmine about like, okay, like it's her or me, like you better choose now. So, and if you're over with her, then you got to tell her it's over. Like, I want to know definitively that you're going to tell her it's over and then you're going to come back to me. So, and it's kind of interesting how like Jasmine says is like, oh, it's a woman, and it's for Riles of like, what's the difference? Like, if you told me it was a goat or a sheep or whatever, like you were still hiding this. Like Riles called her about it, and she was hiding this. She was lying to him. She never said anything about like, well, yeah, I'm banging this woman. Da, da, da. None of that happened. Like, if anything, like she was hiding it the whole time, and it was like it was shitty how she was hiding it the whole time. It was awful. Like, why not just come clean with it? To just say, "Oh yeah, I'm just banging this chick behind your back." Yeah, like she could have done that over the phone. She could have done that with a text. She could have been like, "Yeah, like I'm forking somebody." She could have emojied it, and maybe he could have figured it out. At least he would have told them something. So, but yeah, but so there's a question of Riles of whether or not that Jasmine is to be gay or not, and so he wants to be sure that it's over with this girl, so they'll kind of move past this because Riles is at least willing to do that. He's at least willing to like keep this relationship alive, even though it's obviously a corpse and it's dead, because it really is. So Jasmine makes her way to Dallas, and Dallas realizes that it's like, yeah, there's no way that this relationship is going to continue, uh, just because like the whole time Dallas is going to be second guessing if Jasmine made this mistake. Uh, like, was the sex really that good? Was the sex really that good with Dallas? I'm sure it was. Yeah, I'm sure it was. It probably was. She's really good at it. Anyways, so Jasmine breaks it off, and I really want to go on and not really pay much attention to this dialogue, and I just want to cut to that. Jasmine leaves. Dallas is just kind of just holding her head down and just sad and what have you. So Jasmine makes her way back to the car, and Jasmine tells Riles, "Hey, drop me off at work." So Dallas is going to her work too, and the guys can tell that something's off about Dallas. Like, "Hey, what's going on?" And Dallas won't talk, and it's like, "Dude, you've known us for how long?" And you're like, "How long have we been on this movie? Like, how long have we been? How long have we been friends? Written into this story? You're not gonna go and blab to us? Like, come on! Like, even though you're a chick, like, come on! Like, spell it out. Get it off your chest. Come on, you'll probably feel better." But yeah, so the guys are throwing her a beer. She drinks it. It's like, all right, like at least you'll do that then. Like, fuck it. Like, if you're not gonna talk to me, then at least you'll go on and share a beer, right? Son of a bitch. uh, that's the annoyance of just like, you don't say anything, but hey, yeah, you'll drink my beer, will you? Not my beer, but the guy in the movie's beer. That's what I'm thinking. Anyways, that was the whole SOB thing, not the not anything else. Anyways, so Jasmine goes on. She gets a taxi, and she makes her way back. Uh, she makes her way back home. Man, she goes back to that tub again. Already probably feeling that Riles has probably not satisfied her for the umpteenth time, and that she's so tempted by the tub again. Uh, could we have just had one more tub scene? For good old sakes? No? Oh well. Like maybe I was asking too much of that. So maybe we've really worked into that tub. Well, we probably will have one more tub scene before this whole movie ends. So Dallas is now going on, and she's drinking beer, and or she's drinking whiskey. What is that? Bourbon? Not quite sure. Let me know in the console. Jack Daniels? I don't know what kind of bottle that is. But yeah, uh, Dallas is right here, kind of doing the Kevin Bacon Footloose thing, where she's going on and she's drinking alcohol and she's looking into the mirror and she's all upset. And I'm just waiting for the dance number to happen after that, where she breaks into like "Never, never gonna hide your heart," and she starts dancing and and does the gymnast moves and does the flippity flops. And yeah, I absolutely love that scene in Footloose dancing. Anyways, so I'm gonna bring it up at every chance I freaking get. Yeah, because I oddly like that song, and I like how like Kevin in that role is kind of defying everything, and he's just so upset, and like that to me is like the rebellion of all rebellion scenes that I've ever seen in my life. The top rebellion scene that I've ever seen in my life has got to be the Kevin Bacon never, never, never go to hot, and he's dancing and he's doing the gymnast stuff, and there's probably like 10 different extras that are all actually doing Kevin Bacon stuff, and he's not actually doing it because he can't do it because there are some limitations there. But the dancing, I'm sure, was mostly his. Mostly. Anyways, so back to this movie, finishing it up because I've only been spending an hour and 14 minutes. This is actually pretty good for the time of allotted. Normally, I'd go on to be like 3 hours, 4 hours. Maybe I'll get it under two at least. Maybe I'll get it under the actual time of the movie. We'll figure that out. So Jasmine goes on to meet with Riles, and it seems that Riles is kind of cold with her. She tries to like touch him. She tries to like hold his hand. Tries to even be with the balcony of him. Riles just won't have it. So Jasmine just leaves. So Dallas goes on to be with Quinn. drinking it up, and Dallas starts talking to Quinn about how she really loves that girl, and Quinn is thinking Desiree, and Dallas is like, "Oh no, you weren't here to figure out that I was with that other girl who is Jasmine, and I'm really fascinated by her." And Quinn is like, "Oh, well, she's into dudes, right? You know, she's into dudes. It's not gonna happen. She's straight. She like the dick. Well, you had the black one, but I don't know, like." Maybe there is that whole black don't crack. No, maybe that's a horrible. I'm sorry. Maybe that might seem insensitive for me to specifically say that. I apologize. Uh, and also, it doesn't. It doesn't. Legit. Yeah. Uh, anyways, so, but also Quinn is like, well, hey, since you're not with Jasmine anymore, well, Desiree. And Dallas is like, come on, whatever. So Dallas goes on and she leaves Quinn and she goes to the club, and I'm talking about the strip club. So Dallas seems to go into this place fairly regularly. Like they know her name, like it's like freaking Cheers. So Dallas goes into this club, and there's a woman that goes on and tells Dallas like, "Oh yeah, like MJ's here, and yeah, she'll be really happy to see you." And like does this whole bit of dialogue kind of explaining like, yeah, the two of them are very familiar with one another. So MJ makes her presence known. Dallas goes up her with MJ to the secret room, and so as MJ starts dancing and starts revealing herself, uh MJ goes on and asks Dallas like, well, hey, like, are you with somebody? And Dallas is like, well, no, like I was just kind of dumped. So MJ is like, well, so then you're gonna be here a lot more. Good. Or will you be here a lot more? So here is where Dallas goes on, and she's a finger fiend, and love that about her. Like fingers, yeah, you gotta love them fingers. Um, so Dallas goes on and does a little bit of a uh, little bit of a she goes on and god dang it, what would be the perfect word here? D- let's just go with fingering. So Dallas is going on and moaning. We're going on and seeing some escalation here, and all of a sudden a bouncer comes in and breaks up. Like, hey, you can't do that here. Get that out, or yeah, we're gonna kick you out of here. So Dallas gets in this taxi and she leaves. So I was gonna say get off, but you could probably get a little confused with what getting off really means. So Dallas goes on and finds her ex Rosaline, and as Rosaline opens the door, like Dallas just kind of falls back from the door. So Dallas is going on and thrusting herself on Rosaline, um, because I guess it's just easy and convenient. But I guess she's not really caring about that girl's feelings, right? Right. So if I can go on and even think that this girl is, am I pronouncing that name right? Joseline, my bad. I'm not even thinking of this person's feelings because I'm not even saying their name right. So, but at least I correct myself there. Trying to. So Dallas goes on. She sleeps in this girl's bed, And Dallas doesn't even remember how she even got there. And then eventually Dallas is like, "Well, yeah, like I'm still not right for you." Like, but at least Dallas goes on and tells Jocelyn the actual truth about how she really feels about her, about how this relationship is not going to work out. And so Jocelyn just kind of eventually just walks off. So I guess I guess we didn't give up on that tub. Jasmine has made her way into the tub, and I'm like, can we get one more, one more for the road? No. Um, Riles goes on into the tub, joining Rosaline, and we're thinking that we're gonna get this like happy ending. Well, I guess in massage terms, happy ending. No, happy ending. No, yeah. Ah. Anyways, so as Jasmine is in the tub, she's starting to think maybe we should get out of the tub. And then getting out of the tub turns into like, well, hey, I'll go on and I'll prop her up and I'll slip my in her and we'll start to get into lovemaking. And eventually, Jasmine, at some point, while in the throes of everything, eventually she starts crying and she says, I'm sorry. Uh, Jasmine, I think, also at one point even apologized for what had happened before, but it seems that it's going to happen more because Jasmine is to finally just be like, okay, I'm done with Riles. Because the next thing we see is Dallas playing her guitar. Jasmine is getting these photos out, and then Dallas ends up meeting with Jasmine as it seems that Jasmine is to have some bit of coffee. The two of them are at this lake or pond together, body of water together, and Dallas is asking how's her day. Uh, Jasmine mentioned that she had mentioned some things about Jasmine to her friends, and that she had mentioned everything about Dallas. And then, of course, the movie ends. So, the one good thing here is that Jasmine was to be open about her being gay. So it's nice that she was to probably come out to her friends. She was to probably go on and be with Dallas by the end because that's what made her happy. So huzzah for her. Yeah. So with that said, that is to go on and in a bulk just kind of be what happened with this movie. But I really tried to fast pace through it. I didn't cover much of the dialogue. I was just trying to just quickly get through all this. And I know it's roughly about the same amount of time that the movie was, or maybe more than that. I don't remember. But either way, people are gonna still have a problem with how long this was. This movie could have been um, 40 minutes, or it could have been an hour, and people would have still had a problem with it. So, like at this point, like I'm never gonna make everyone happy. So, if anything, it's like if I feel that I am to be satisfied with the length of time, uh, or at least time to go on and be like, okay, this is the only way I think that I can get this at least uploaded, then I upload it. Like, I'm not going to go on and retry this over and over again to see if I can get this faster, see if I can go on and get it a different kind of cut of it. Like, I'm just not. Like, I'm just like, if anything, that's what a feature editor will have work to do, if I ever get one. If anything, that's what you people can do. You can edit me down. You could watch the first 10, 20 minutes of this video and then cut it off. You can be your own personal editor. Like that, I go on and I have you do that work for free. Because, yeah, you have to listen to me and then you have to edit this video. Oh no, like, man, like, are you doing all that for free? Well, so am I. It's the truth. Uh, Still to this day. If anything, the only thing that costs anything, I guess, would be a view. Um, yeah, but at the end of the day, like even that, like uh, there's no real exchange that does besides letting me know that people were to find this, and I hope they did. Uh, but anything, maybe in the future, maybe I will go on and be actually successful at this, and will actually go on and actually make a real impact on the world, on the channel, and be more consistent with every one of these videos, instead of being just kind of very like, who knows what I'm gonna get this day? Is this day gonna go on and do well, or is this day gonna be another clunker? Uh, am I gonna go on and get it to a good pattern of movies or shows or whatever, or is it just gonna be another one of those where it's like, oh, I was lucky I had that 300 uh plus whatever thing of view video, because man, that's going to be the only thing that I'm going to go on and eventually get any positive thing of. But I don't know. Either way, I'm grateful for people going on and checking out this content. I'm grateful that I had gone on and been able to do something for this birthday that's coming up. And I'm grateful for just being able to somehow consistently be able to do this and be able to figure out how I can go on and have clothes and costume shirts eventually continue to come to cover this content that I obviously don't have shirts and things for, which I am fans of, and I have gone on to watch enough of it to prove that, I hope. Uh, but, anyways, also, thanks everybody for kicking ASS on a video, because like I've really gone on to just hope um, that this channel can continue to do well and continue to justify me continuing to do it consistently. Because man, were there times where like every once in a while I would kind of get to the point where it's like I've been doing this for too long, or I'd be like, yeah, like there's a lot of videos that just aren't producing, or aren't producing where I want them to be. I want them to consistently get to this point, and it's just not where any near there. Um, then I'm going on and being like, well, I'll just tag this to the moon and hope that that'll just be enough. Um, and sometimes it works, like a prison school, and sometimes it really just still doesn't. Like there's nothing to just kind of dig that piece of content out of the ravine to have it do well. But oh well, it's just that is what it is. I'm just gonna keep trying. I'm gonna keep hoping that something will do well. If this one does amazingly well, if it does thousands of views, if it does amazing, then I'm like, wow. Then at some point, it's always the contemplation of like, man, maybe I should just go on vacation. I doubt it. I doubt that this will do that well. That'll be like, man, like yeah, let's go on vacation for like a couple of days because I deserve it anyways. Because how I'm just endlessly continuing to do it. Um, but I think that there's also YouTubers that are just endlessly always doing this. Uh, so so I feel that at least I can go on and be like, well, hey, yeah, I can sympathize. I'm trying to do this at least every other day, or at least I'm trying to do a good number of consistent projects. There's sometimes I do stuff 2 days and I cover multiple hours and blah blah. But I keep trying to get to this because I hope that uh, that it'll continue to be a thing that exists that I can keep coming back to and keep enjoying. Hopefully, at some points, what I'm doing. Maybe not this movie, because some projects are also to be like YouTube. I'll just do it for YouTube. Like I'll just do it because like I might as well. Like there's some of this kind of just sexual stuff that I just don't care about actually doing it anymore. Uh, but I do it to maybe help somebody. Like that's the big thing where it's like really some of the sexual stuff is like yeah I really just do it for the numbers. Like because I really like I get beaten down by doing it. Like it's like really I have to do this again. Like a movie that has no story, like a movie that's just straight up just visuals of which that I have to go on and I have to watch. Like, uh, yeah. So, and the movies are not mostly that good. They really aren't. Um, and then people go on and complain. Um, with those even reviews also. It's like, you know how shitty this movie was? I know what you came to this movie for. But yeah, just. Anyways, I'm gonna get out of here. Bye, buddy. Bye, buddy.